You've probably heard the saying start small, dream big, right? Well, in the world of product development, that's not just a feel-good quote. It's a core strategy. And today, we're going to break down exactly how it works.
So let's get right into it. Every game-changing product starts with a huge idea. But here's the problem. How do you take that big idea and turn it into a real successful product without, going completely broke in the process? How do you know if people will actually want what you're building before you sink months or even years into it?
Well, the answer is the minimum viable product, or MVP. Now, this is absolutely crucial. An MVP is not a half-finished or sloppy product. Not at all. It's about being ruthlessly focused. It is the simplest, most stripped-down version of your product that solves one real problem for your very first users. Think of it as the absolute core, the very essence of your idea.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll really nail down what an MVP is. Then we'll walk through two critical phases, defining the core and then the build and learn loop. After that, we'll look at some common pitfalls to avoid, and then we'll wrap up so you can get your own journey started on the right foot. So really, why bother with an MVP? Well, it's all about being smart. By starting with just the minimal version, you slash your financial risk, you save a ton of time and resources, and, this is the most important part, you get to check if your big idea is actually a good one, with real people, super fast.
This infographic here lays out the whole journey perfectly. See how it's a clear two-phase strategy? Over on the left, it all starts with phase 1, defining the core. Only after that's locked in do you move to the build and learn cycle you see on the right. So let's jump into phase 1.
Okay, phase 1. This is your blueprint. This is where all the deep thinking happens before anyone even thinks about writing code. It's all about getting laser-focused and crystal clear on what you're actually doing.
So how do you get that focus? It really comes down to these 3 steps. First, you have to identify a genuine user pain point. What's the problem? Step 2, you determine your core value. How, specifically, does your product solve that pain? And finally, step 3, you prioritize only the features that are absolutely essential to deliver that value. Everything else, for now, is just a distraction.
Let's make this real with an example. Check out this table for a budgeting app. The user pain point is super simple. People find it hard to track their spending, so the core value is just a simple, easy-to-use expense tracker. That means the only MVP features you need are expense categories and some basic reports. That's it. See how future features like financial forecasting are put on the back burner? You have to solve the core problem first.
Here's another perfect example. Imagine a fitness app. Are you going to build the whole shebang at once? No way. The MVP might just be daily step tracking. That's it. Why? Because it lets the team test their most basic idea. Do people even want this? Before they pour a ton of time and money into complicated stuff like meal plans and guided workouts. It's all about finding that minimum viable starting point.
All right, we've got our blueprint. Now, it's time for phase 2. This is where the action is. You've defined your core, and now you're going to bring it to life. This phase is all about speed, execution, and most importantly, learning.
This quote on the screen says it all, really. The goal is to learn, not to create a perfect product on the first try. You have to get this mindset right. If you're shooting for perfection on day 1, you're missing the whole point. The real prize is learning what your users actually want and need.
And that brings us to the engine of phase 2, the build, learn loop. It's a constant cycle. You build fast using agile methods. You get it into the hands of a small group of users. You listen to their feedback, what they love, what they hate, what confuses them, and then you iterate, you improve. Think about a food delivery app. The MVP wasn't the app you use today. It was probably just a basic menu and an order button. Only after they proved people wanted that did they start adding things like driver tracking and user profiles.
But, of course, this journey isn't always easy. It's so important to know about the common traps that can completely derail a great MVP strategy.
So let's talk about the 2 big ones to avoid. First, feature cramming. This is that temptation to just add one more little thing, and then another, and another, until your MVP isn't minimum anymore. You have to stick to your core. The second trap, ignoring feedback. Your first users are literally handing you the roadmap for what to build next. Listening isn't just a good idea, it's the whole reason you're doing this.
So when you pull all of these pieces together, what you have is this incredibly powerful way to turn those big ideas into real, successful products, one validated step at a time.
It all really comes down to this. Start small. Stay obsessed with solving one real problem really, really well, and let your users be your guide.
That right there is the true power of the minimum viable product. So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a question for your own projects. Forget all the bells and whistles for a second. What is the one single core problem that your next big idea is going to solve?
Building great products means really understanding concepts just like this one. And if you're looking to master everything from product strategy and discovery all the way to AI-powered development, then I really recommend you subscribe to the AI Product Management Playbook by Deepak Deo. It is an amazing resource for getting the latest on agentic AI, digital transformation, and product leadership. Thanks so much for watching.